The partial year CRs, all those are very challenging.
I have a bunch of other questions. If you could just get to a yes, it's bad, that'd be great. General?
The continuing resolutions do limit our ability to be able to predict well into the future, and predictability and reliability is key.
Agreed. General Saltzman. Can you just assure us, Secretary, that the Air Force is doing everything it can to deliver cutting-edge, capable counter-UAS systems for our bases, both overseas and at home, given Ukraine's striking success with Operation Spiderweb? Well, we are eagerly interested in details, but the President's proposal and frankly, the Department as a whole have been very slow, even obstinate in providing details, and we need more clarity about this path forward.
Senator Chris Coons grills top Pentagon officials on the dangers of budget delays, the low readiness of F-35 fighter jets, rising drone threats to United States bases, and a controversial decision to hand a key space defense contract to SpaceX without competition. With national security on the line, this hearing exposes serious concerns about transparency, readiness, and the future of the United States military power.
Senator Coons.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, if I might, to follow up on the question of the chairman, many of us on this committee are concerned that the approach of the administration is full-year continuing resolution, reconciliation, and rescission to achieve their spending goals, which frankly would turn this committee into a shiny hood ornament for Congress and deprive us of our central role in setting and working closely with the administration and spending priorities. So for the record, if you could, Secretary Mink, General Alvin, General Saltzman, do you oppose a full-year continuing resolution for the Air Force and Space Force? This is the first year DOD has been operating under a CR, and in my view, it has significant harms and consequences and puts you into a budgeting box that leads to this shell game the chairman was talking about. Secretary Mink?
Mr. Vice Chair, a CR, whether a partial CR or a full use CR, has been one of the biggest challenges that I've faced throughout my career. Getting a and not just the full year CR, but historically the partial year CRs, all those are very challenging.
I have a bunch of other questions. If you could just get to a yes, it's bad, that'd be great. General?
The continuing resolutions do limit our ability to be able to predict well into the future, and predictability and reliability is key.
Agreed. General Saltzman?
The limitations of a CR, first, it's less money. Second, it hurts the timelines with which we can present the capabilities that we know we need to.
I think it makes it difficult for all of us to work together towards our shared objective about improving our national security. About F-35s, Secretary Mink, General Alvin, Senator Shaheen, and I just returned from the NATO summit. A key part of future security in Europe is acquisition of F-35s at scale by many of our closest allies. And the fiscal year 26 request proposes buying 20 fewer than 25. To get to a simple, important point, mission availability rate for the Air Force's F-35 hovers between 40 and 60%. General Alvin, if I might just briefly, why is the availability so low, and what's the Air Force doing to improve that rate?
So understanding we have limited time, I don't want to be able to get on. There are several factors that go into that. First of all, there is the nature in which the contract was first developed that gives a lot of that over to the contractor to be able to supply the parts and have a lot more say in that. So there's a challenge in that. The sustainability issue is being taken on by the Joint Program Office, but it is partially due to supply parts availability, partially due to some of the scale of global pools that we have to deal with. But what we're doing to get after it, we're leaning heavily into the Joint Program Office to maybe take some more control of that sustainment money to ensure the aircraft available are higher than they are now. But I would say one last thing is the overall fleet may have a lower availability rate, and we do need to increase it overall. But overall fleet includes some of the training aircraft that we legitimately don't put at the full mission capability, but
Understood.
We have much more work to do, Senator.
Love to work with you on that. One of the great honors of representing the state of Delaware is that Dover Air Force Base is where those fallen in service to our nation first return. I'm haunted by the Tower 22 attacks and by the potential vulnerability of our airmen and guardians deployed around the world, particularly given the events of the recent weekend. Can you just assure us, Secretary, that the Air Force is doing everything it can to deliver cutting-edge, capable counter-UAS systems for our bases, both overseas and at home, given Ukraine's striking success with Operation Spiderweb? Many of us now have to question whether our air bases are vulnerable throughout the world.
It's a significant threat, Senator, and we are working both technologies to address that. But I also think we're going to need, particularly domestically, we're going to need help with Congress on getting a little bit more flexibility in how we address those threats. Otherwise, it's going to be very challenging. I think it's not just a technology solution. It is what are the rules of engagement, how we operate around our bases. It's just going to be critical.
I recognize we have FAA regulation restrictions, but this is an area where we should be working together closely to accelerate innovation and the deployment of next generation technologies.
Agreed.
Last questions, if I could, to General Saltzman. Golden Dome. Space Force has the lead. Congressional Budget Office estimates it could cost as much as $500 billion. Can the space-based capabilities be delivered relatively quickly?
Well, relative speed is tough to ascertain at this point. I think we still have a lot of mission analysis to do. I'm proud of Mike Gutlein being selected to run that program. He's really a program manager of program managers. This will definitely need to be a system of systems approach, and that's what's going to extend the timelines, I think. But a demonstrated capability in the next 3 or 4 years is not unreasonable.
Well, we are eagerly interested in details, but the President's proposal and frankly, the department as a whole have been very slow, even obstinate in providing details, and we need more clarity about this path forward. Last thing for you, if I might. In the FY26 budget, we learned DoD is halting the Space Development Agency's Tranche 3 transport layer, and that work, which has been going on for several years and had robust competition and open standards, has been replaced by something called MilNet, which is being sole sourced to SpaceX. No competition, no open architecture, no leveraging a dynamic space ecosystem. This is a massive and important contract. Secretary Mink, doesn't handing this to SpaceX make us dependent on their proprietary technology and avoid the very positive benefits of competition and open architecture?
So I'm going to let General Saltzman talk to the details, but Tranche 2 is still funded in the budget submission, including the transport layer. So we're looking forward to delivery of that system over the next handful of years. As we go forward, a MilNet, the term, should not be taken as just a system. How we field that going forward into the future is something that's still under consideration, and we will look at the acquisition of that.
Well, I'm out of time, but I would deeply appreciate a classified briefing, General Saltzman, on exactly where this is going and why this particular decision was made. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.